Okay, like we did on the last one, we're going to come in and cut ourselves a slot in the top. We're going to pick ourselves a good flat surface and mount our newly printed picture. And again, like last time, we're going to take and just saw straight across. Yeah, there we go. Nice and flat. Now we'll take and saw our way around the rim here. And now we'll start scraping. Okay, now as you can see, we've got that nice and clean inside, and now we're going to prepare the outside with some wipe it down. We'll get our adhesive on, and we'll go from there. Now we're going to trim up our piece of the beautiful Maintenance Geek, and we'll leave extra. So we have a little margin here to cut around. A little breezy out here today. And it's kind of cold. We're a little worried that at 55 degrees it might be a little bit too cold to, now there's our piece. We need to look at the pumpkin. Obviously we got some spots where it grew and so forth. We want to pick a spot that's relatively flat and we have a nice even contour, and then we need to find a place that it'll actually fit. So we're looking pretty good right in this section here, and now that the wind blew it away, I'll go get it. We're going to put some adhesive on the pumpkin and the back and then let them dry. And you'll also notice on here, we'll get it up close, I did pencil draw some additional lines in here so that I have a little more meat to cut to. Now we'll take and put some glue on our pumpkin. We want to get it covered well, but keep it thin. Don't let it, no running allowed. Those out of the way. And the idea is this needs to be stuck well enough so that when we cut around it doesn't pull away from the pumpkin. You'll see soon. To make this kind of blend into the pumpkin, from about here, all of this, and from about here, all of that, I'm going to go right into the pumpkin. I'm not going to make an edge around it. We'll make our edge on this side so it'll look like the light is coming from one side. One of my favorite tools here is a good sharp razor knife. New blade, ready to rock and roll. I'm going to make a very slight mark around the edge just to put a little outline, and then we'll start removing everything that's not, all the white on the material comes away, all the dark stays on the pumpkin. Now, one of the things you're going to see, to get out some of this, you'll notice that I'm cutting a bunch of cross hatches in there, and that makes it easier to pick out the flesh down about 1/8 of an inch. One of the more difficult parts is getting in here around the to cut out the eyeglasses, to make the eye look halfway right. And but as you can see, we're up here pretty close. That's we're getting some detail into it, and we try to leave enough meat, and then we'll chip away at it after. But let's see how we do. Now you can see I put the light in there, and there's not a lot coming through. We still have to get up where we wipe off, clean the pumpkin, pull all of the paper off, and so forth. But I'm going to scrape the inside of the pumpkin to brighten sections of that show. Now, not sure if you can see this, but it is. I cut the inside of the pumpkin. You can see glowing more now, and it's a little eerier that way. I will take and start to peel the paper and clean it a little now, and we'll take another look. Now, as you can see, taking the paper off, and we'll get a look at it here. Doesn't look like much, but the idea is it gets a little eerier when you put the light to it, and especially when it gets a lot darker, you're going to see the magic begin. And that is how I carve a photo onto a pumpkin.